Black Oni.
Welcome everybody to another episode of J Blaze Reviews. I'm of course your host JBlaze06, and here is the very second review. Second, I should use two fingers when I say second. Very second video review on the Black Oni channel. It's a very exciting moment for me because I'm going to be reviewing the game Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Now, before we get into any of this, I just want to say again, if you haven't seen my first video review, it'll be annotated here. I'm not a video game journalist. I'm just someone who really loves video games. I'm passionate about them. They're one of the reasons why I became an artist. And I just want to convey my thoughts and opinions to you guys, the viewers, fans, fellow gamers, so that you can make your own educated opinion on whether or not you want to buy a game or not. Now here it is, the moment we've all been waiting for. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes is finally upon us. Does this game have what it takes to stand along your other games in your gaming collection? Or has this game gone from hero to zero? Let's find out. It is immediately apparent upon booting this game up that this game has incredibly high production values. It's simply gorgeous. The game starts you off with a view of Big Boss sitting down with the menu system overlaid on top of this to the left. This approach appropriately sets the tone for the level of immersion this game creates. Light realistically reflects off of each surface. The wind billows through Snake's hair. Raindrops trickle down on in-game character models, and you always have a sense of groundedness in the world. Frame rate is consistently buttery smooth on PS4, but there was an instance or two where the frame rate hitched for a second. Sound design is equally impressive, with ambient noise effects springing the world to life all around me. It's even more impressive with headphones. I use Astro A40s, as you know from the other videos. Mud ever so subtly squishes under Big Boss's boots, and some impressive CQC moves have especially satisfying and impactful sound effects. Guards converse with each other, and voice acting overall is superb. I don't need to get into this again. There's an annotation here for the video of me talking about them changing the voice actor, but all in all, Kiefer Sutherland does a decent enough job as Big Boss. He doesn't really have that many lines in the game, so it's really hard to judge for sure how well he's going to do a job. It was okay. Nothing in his performance made me think to myself, I can see why they changed the voice actor. I'm still baffled at the fact that they decided, or they, as in Hideo Kojima, decided to use a different voice actor for Big Boss. It makes no sense. I don't understand it. If you're watching this, Kojima, what are you doing? Just stop. Anyway, let's talk about the gameplay. Up until Metal Gear Solid 3's subsistence, controls for the Metal Gear Solid franchise have been a touchy subject for many. While it has always been possible to get used to control scheme in past MGS games, accessibility was never its strongest point. Ground Zeroes is easily the most accessible of all Metal Gear games to date, rivaling games like Splinter Cell Blacklist and Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Ghost Recon Future Soldier, in my book, is one of the games that just has one of the best control schemes of any stealth game, even though the game's kind of like a stealth/action game. But with that said, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes holds up really well against that. You no longer use the trigger buttons for selecting equipment, but rather the directional pad, which makes sense. You can still toggle crouching, lay on your belly, or roll around. Aiming feels fast and responsive, which is a must if you want to utilize your split-second cat-like reflexes. Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes fully embraces a more modern control scheme, and that certainly works in the game's favor. There are a few standout features that differentiate this game from other stealth games. Pulling the left trigger aims your gun, while pulling the right fires your weapon. Pretty standard fare. Tapping the right trigger activates a swift CQC maneuver, while holding it gives you options on how to handle disposing of your enemy. Through this, you can question them for more information, including ammo pickups, possible locations for your objective, and other secrets scattered around the map. R1 activates the binoculars, which lets you tag enemies a la Splinter Cell or Far Cry 3 status. It's a really nice feature for keeping tabs on your enemies, as it's easy to forget where an enemy is positioned. Tapping L1 radios in Lieutenant Miller, which is an incredible addition to the game. You don't have to go into another menu in order to talk to the rest of your team members. You can actually do it just with the simple press of one button. And if you're looking at a particular item or object or objective, you'll get more information about that thing that you're looking at through the L1. Pretty genius. Although you can approach the game a bit less carefully by going guns a-blazing, stealth is still king in this franchise. Stalking enemies and silently knocking them out has never felt so satisfying. Tranquilizer ammo is much more scarce in this game, so getting up close and personal is your preferred way of disposing your enemies. Enemies on normal difficulty can spot you fairly easily compared to other Metal Gear games or other stealth games, so you have to be much more aware of your surroundings. You must become a true stealth operative. Now let's talk about the story. For newcomers of the series, there's a simple recap of what happened in the previous games, and it's presented in a very easily digestible way. For the first time in the game's history, you don't have to be a rocket scientist or a nuclear physicist to understand the plot for the game, which is a huge win. I understand it because I've been playing all the games as long as I can remember, but for most other people jumping into the franchise, a lot of the stuff will go right over their heads. So they did a very basic and very simple, straightforward recap of the events from the previous games so that you can jump into this one knowing at least some context as to who you are, why you're there. And it's centered around one character's supposed fall from grace from hero to villain. I can say with certainty that the story sets itself up very well for The Phantom Pain, which is the other release coming later down the line. There are some subtle hints at some provocative content, mainly through the use of audio logs, but I feel like this is Kojima's chance to really push the boundaries of what we're supposed to expect in video games. Maybe in the future we'll get a little bit more of that, but I'm not going to ruin anything by saying that. Just know that there was a missed opportunity for that. Let's talk about lasting appeal. I won't beat around the bush. The main mission can technically be completed in about 8 minutes if you speedrun it. But that's no fun, right? The game offers several extra missions and replayability in the form of leaderboards and unlockables for the full release, The Phantom Pain. This game aims to whet your taste buds with the slightest bit of what the full game will offer, and in doing so accomplishes exactly what it sets out to do. My body is ready for The Phantom Pain. While it's hard to justify for most people to shell out $30 for essentially what is a $30 demo, Metal Gear fans will definitely be pleased with this game. It has everything that you would really love from a Metal Gear game aside from the voice actor. So it's very hard to recommend people who are new to this series or new to stealth gaming in general. But for people who really already love Metal Gear, this is a no-brainer. This game gets a buy. Why does this game get a buy? It has amazing graphics, art direction, and cinematography, smooth, intricate, and rewarding gameplay, excellent setup for events that take place in The Phantom Pain. Now, let's focus on the bad. It's really short. Kiefer Sutherland as Big Boss is a needless replacement for David Hayter, and it's expensive for the amount of time it will take to complete the main mission. Anyway, I hope you guys really liked that video review. I'm really excited for The Phantom Pain to come out. I'm just waiting for it to come out. If you like the video, press the like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below letting me know, of course, if you agree with what I said, things that you liked about the game or didn't like about the game. As always, I'll catch you guys later. Game on. J Blaze out.